I made a catastrophic mistake. I handed over 5,000 pounds I didn't have to a so-called property guru. I'd just quit my stable job. I was completely convinced I was weeks away from becoming wealthy. Instead, I went broke. I was sleeping on a friend's sofa, watching my bank account drain to zero, feeling like an absolute failure. But it was right there at rock bottom that I had the most important realization of my life. The real secret to becoming a successful property investor had nothing to do with finding the perfect deal or having a war chest of capital to start. The transformation had to happen inside my own head first. The gurus and the online ads are selling you a fantasy. They say it's all about a secret formula, a hot market, or a complex strategy only they can teach you. That's a lie, and it's designed to sell courses. The journey from sleeping on someone's sofa to running a full-time property investment business wasn't paved with secret knowledge. It was built on 3 fundamental mindset shifts and nothing else. These are the shifts that saved me from total ruin. They're the same shifts that separate investors who struggle for years from those who finally build the life they actually want. In this video, I'm going to walk you through all 3 exactly as I experienced them. Stay until the end. Because the third shift is the one almost everyone, including successful investors, gets completely wrong. Mindset shift 1. Stop hunting for secrets. Start building systems. The first and most expensive mistake of my life was believing that success was a secret I had to buy. This is the mindset that fuels the entire get-rich-quick industry. The idea that there is a hidden piece of information, a magical deal, a perfect property that once you find it, unlocks everything. My old mindset, I'm just one deal away from changing my life. I spent every hour treasure hunting, hours a day on property portals, podcasts, forums, always searching for the secret tactic. And the guru? He was just a man selling a treasure map. The problem with treasure hunting is that it's gambling. It's exhausting, it's emotional. And because you believe the answer is external, in a property, in a guru, you never focus on building your own skills. This is exactly why I went broke. The guru's secrets were generic advice, freely available online. The exclusive deals never materialized. I quit my job based on the promise of a treasure map without ever asking whether I knew how to read it. I was waiting for him to hand me a fish. I never learned to fish for myself. The breakthrough. Then, at my lowest point, something clicked. Successful investors aren't lucky treasure hunters who stumbled onto one magic deal. They are operators. They are business owners. They don't hunt for secrets, they build systems. A system isn't glamorous, it's not a secret. It's a boring, repeatable process you create and improve over time. It turns the chaotic, emotional gamble of investing into a predictable business operation. My deal-finding system. Instead of randomly scrolling portals, I defined exactly what I was looking for. A specific area, a specific property type, a specific tenant profile. Then I created a process. 1 hour every morning, contacting 5 local estate agents with my criteria. That's it, not a secret, just a process. My analysis system. I built a simple spreadsheet to assess every potential deal using the same numbers every time. Purchase price, renovation costs, legal fees, projected rent, mortgage payment, insurance, maintenance reserve. I used to fall in love with properties. Now a property was just a set of numbers. If the numbers didn't stack up, I walked away. No emotion, just process. My funding system. My old mindset, I don't have the money. My new question, what is the process for finding the money? For every deal I analyzed, I also researched 3 potential funding routes: a standard mortgage, a bridging loan, and a private investor. I was building relationships with mortgage brokers before I even had a deal on the table. This shift from secret hunting to system building changed everything. The emotion left. The desperation left. I wasn't waiting for a lottery ticket anymore. I was building a machine. Each day I just had to turn the crank. Most deals didn't work, but that was fine. It wasn't personal failure. The system was filtering out bad opportunities. And one day, the system produced a result. A small, boring, completely unglamorous deal. But it was proof the machine worked. Because it was a system, I could do it again and again. That is how you become a full-time investor. Mindset shift. 2. You are not investing money. You are buying freedom. Even after I started building systems, a deeper problem was still holding me back. My attachment to money. When you are broke, every pound feels sacred. The fear of deploying capital you have scraped together is paralyzing, and on the flip side, the desperation for a big payday can make you reckless, overbidding, cutting corners on renovations, fudging numbers to make a bad deal look viable. My old mindset, I am investing money to make more money, seems logical, but it's a trap. When making money is the only goal, every decision becomes emotional. You check spreadsheets obsessively. A small market dip feels like a personal attack. You start making short-term decisions to maximize cash even when they damage you in the long run. I remember a borderline deal in the early days. My system flagged it as marginal, but I was so hungry for a win, so desperate to see my account move, I started adjusting the numbers. The renovation probably won't cost that much. I can definitely get a higher rent. I was letting emotion override data from my own system. That is the kind of thinking that ruins investors. The breakthrough. A more experienced investor stopped me mid-sentence one day. He said, "You're thinking about it completely wrong. You're not investing money, you are buying back your time." That was mindset shift 2. Stop asking Hardis, how much money can this deal make me? Start asking, how much freedom can this deal buy me? Here is how it changes everything in practice. A property generating £500 of passive income per month isn't just £500. If your monthly outgoings are £2,000, that one property has just purchased 1 week of freedom every single month. Your next property buys another week and the next, and so on. Suddenly, the investment isn't an emotional gamble with sacred cash. It is a strategic purchase of an asset that produces freedom. The question becomes entirely data-driven. Does this asset produce enough passive income to buy a meaningful amount of my time relative to the capital and effort required? This shift allowed me to detach emotionally. The money in my account stopped being my money, something fragile and precious to protect. It became a stack of freedom tokens waiting to be deployed into income-producing assets. How it changed my deal selection. A risky flip with a big one-off cash injection, not a freedom-producing asset. A short-term gamble. A solid, boring single let in a strong rental area, that is a freedom machine. It works for you month after month, buying back your life. This perspective forces long-term thinking. Daily market news stops mattering. A 1% price movement is irrelevant. The only metric that matters is the rent arriving? Because that rent is paying for my life. You stop being market-focused, you become goal-focused, and the goal is freedom. Before I get into the third shift, which is the most powerful of the three, a quick word. If what we have covered so far is landing for you the move from secrets to systems and from money to freedom, then I want you to know there is a lot more where this came from. I am making more videos on the exact practical steps and deal frameworks I use to build my portfolio today. Hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you do not miss what is coming. Mindset Shift 3. From scarcity to impact. Build a network, not a fortress. This is the shift most people never make. Even many experienced and financially successful investors never fully get here. For a long time, I was a lone wolf. I did everything myself, finding deals, analyzing them, negotiating, managing solicitors, overseeing renovations. My thinking, nobody will care about my business as much as I do. My old mindset, this is a zero-sum game. If I win, someone else has to lose. This mindset makes you guarded and brittle. You don't share deals because you're afraid they'll be stolen. You don't pay for good professionals because you see it as money leaving your pocket. You see other investors as competition to be wary of. But trying to do everything alone is the fastest road to burnout and a hard ceiling on growth. I was working 80-hour weeks. I was stressed constantly. My business couldn't scale past the limits of one person, me. The breakthrough. The final shift happened when I realized the truth. I was thinking like a small-time landlord, not like a CEO. A CEO doesn't lay the bricks. They design the city. They don't do all the work. They build the team. Move from scarcity to impact and build a network instead of a fortress. This means you stop asking, how much can I get? and start asking, how much value can I create? And who can I partner with to create more of it? It is the shift from a world of limited resources to a world of infinite collaboration. What this looks like in practice: a good mortgage broker is no longer a cost. They are a partner who can unlock financing you would never find working alone. You pay them gladly. A rundown property is no longer just a flip opportunity. It is a chance to create a safe, quality home for a family. Better tenants, longer tenancies, less friction, higher long-term returns. Other investors are no longer competition. They are potential partners. I started reaching out to other investors in my area. It felt risky at first. Then something remarkable happened. They started sharing back. One investor introduced me to a contractor who saved me thousands on a renovation. Another passed me a deal that didn't fit his criteria but was perfect for mine. I realized the property market isn't a small pie everyone is fighting over. It is an ocean, and the investors who succeed long-term are the ones who build fleets, not lifeboats. By building a trusted ecosystem of brokers, solicitors, builders, and fellow investors, you are no longer limited by your own knowledge or your own time. Your network becomes your most valuable asset. True wealth isn't built in isolation. It is built in a community of shared value where impact produces income as its natural byproduct. I remember the exact moment it all came together. I was standing outside a 3-bedroom house I was buying. The deal had come through my network. The finance had been arranged by a specialist broker I had built a relationship with over months. The renovation team had been recommended by a fellow investor who had used them twice before. I hadn't found any of it by myself. I hadn't done any of it alone. The 3 shifts summarized. The journey from broke to full-time investor was never really about money. It was about changing how I thought. Shift 1. Stop hunting for secrets. Start building systems. Trade gambling for a predictable process. Shift 2. Stop investing money. Start buying freedom. Trade emotional decisions for strategic clarity. Shift 3. Stop operating in scarcity. Start creating impact. Trade being a lone wolf for the power of a network. These are the 3 shifts that saved me, and they are available to anyone regardless of how much capital you have or where you are starting from. Wealth isn't something you find. It's not locked away in a guru's secret program. It is something you build, first in your mind and then in the real world. Here's my challenge to you before you close this video. Don't try to implement all 3 at once. Pick one. Which of the 3 flawed mindsets is costing you the most right now? Is it the secret hunting, the emotional attachment to cash, or the scarcity-driven solo approach? Pick the one that resonates most and commit to practicing the new mindset this week. Then tell me in the comments which one you are working on. Are you building your first system, reframing your goal as freedom, or reaching out to one new person to start your network? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. And if you found this valuable, subscribe for more content built on real experience, not recycled guru advice. Your journey starts with a single choice. This is educational content only. I'm not your financial or legal advisor. Property values and income vary. Always do your own research and seek professional advice before investing.